Okay, today I'm going to try to replace the hub gear oil in a 1965 Mercedes Unimog radio box. As you can see, this is a radio box that has been converted into a camper. It's a pretty cool vehicle. It has solar power, queen size bed, a stove, refrigerator, all that fun stuff. But this will be the first time that I've changed the hub oil. Unimogs are famous for having portal axles, meaning that there's gears in the wheels so that the axle can attach above the center of the wheel, giving it a really amazing clearance. The manual back in 1965 suggests gear oil of 80 weight, and I'm going to try this stuff, Royal Purple's 75 weight 90 synthetic gear oil with a what they call the Centerlec. Now, there's not a lot of oil in these wheels, which probably isn't the best design. That's what they did in 1965, but it only has 0.3 liters per each wheel. And in order to check and drain the oil from the manual, there are 3 bolts on the hub reduction gear. There's the drain bolt. This is the oil filler plug where you fill the oil, and this is the inspection. So once this is drained, you put it back in, you add the oil here, and when it comes out under 1, you know you've reached the maximum level. I'm going to try to do that for start with the right driver's side wheel. As you can see on the outside, each of these wheels, although they're dusty and dirty from a recent trip with a lot of dirt roads, they have no oil leakage. On this one, it's a little dark to see. There's a little oil leaking on the outside of the hub, and I have a feeling that with the high temperatures, the oil was leaping, and maybe the seal is going bad, and that's going to be a pain fix. But it's the only one. So I'm going to start with this wheel because it may have leaked oil from its hub for long distance driving. This Unimog goes, the normal speed for traveling at long distances is 80 kilometers, and you can do that for about 2.5 hours before it heats the point of having to stop. Alright, so here's the driver's rear wheel, and you can see this would be if I get this light on here correctly, this would be the drain hole, the inspection hole, and over here would be the filler hole. So drain, inspection, and filler. And okay, now a little degreaser on there. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and then clean it off and then take the drain bolt out. Alright, so I've done a little cleaning. Again, that's the drain plug, the filler, and the inspection port. And looks like I'm ready to go. This uses a 17 millimeter ratchet. Alright, I'm going to try. The manual doesn't really talk about draining this plug, but I'm going to drain it first, let it sit for a couple hours, and then clean this back up and add my oil here. Alright, so I'm going to use this to drain the oil in, cut out a bit of a jug for a window washer fluid to kind of drain it in. Eventually I'm going to pump it using this, and again I'm using 75 weight as opposed to the 80 weight SEA, just because I think they didn't have this stuff at that time, and there's really not a lot of difference, I don't think, between the 75 weight. Alright, now the good news is it didn't look like I made too much of a mess, and we did have oil in the wheel hub, and it's supposed to only have 0.3 liters, So the good news is it looks like there was a decent amount of oil in there. So I'm not sure where the weeping was coming from. We'll let that drain a little more, clean up the mess, and then fill up that cap. Okay, well here is the drain plug. It's got a copper washer. Not much, and this is the oil that came out of it. Yeah. Good news, I do not see a lot of metal flakes, so I don't think I'm having any problems with the differential or the hub gears. All right, I'm going to put that back in and then fill it up with this stuff. All right, this is the oil filler plug that I just removed, and this is the oil level control plug. It has a copper washer to it. This one doesn't, and it's not on the it's still not left on there, if you're thinking about that. I'm not sure. I'm a little concerned that one doesn't have a copper washer. I may need to check to see if that one is required to have it. My guess is it may not, but I'll check that out. Okay, so got the this is the where you fill the oil. That's where it should come out. And this one is a little bit lower. Looks like I'm maybe missing a copper washer from this one. You can kind of look in there. You can see the gears. They do seem to have a bit of scrapes in there, but that's, I can't tell anything. But it doesn't look like too much of a problem. Okay. Alright, we're going to try filling that up by adding oil here, and when it's filled it should come out right there. Okay, adding the oil. This thing shouldn't take too much. It's got 900 milliliters in here, and 0.3 liters is about 300 milliliters, so it should pop out pretty soon here. Alright, that's the mess that I'm looking for. Right there. So it's coming out the filler hole. Alright. So, fill it up till it came out, put the bolts back on, tightened them by hand, cleaned up the mess, and if anybody knows how to do this without making as much of a mess, I'd appreciate to hear about it. Now I got 3 more to do.